when I was a child, I spent most of my time on the computer. So if I wasn't for playing games, I would be trying to go in all of these different programs on the computer to see what they do. And one of them was this really old program called Microsoft Front Page, which allows you to create websites. When you create that website, it's kind of like editing a Word document, and you can actually see the code behind that website you created. And that's kind of how I first picked up programming, and that's where my interest in technology and computers really kicked off.
How old were you when you were doing this?
And this was when I was roughly 9 years old. So I think my first experience of a hack was when I didn't have a calculator with me, but I was trying to do my maths homework. So I went online and I found an online calculator. Having programming knowledge in my head, I kind of thought about the most obvious way that the person who made this calculator could have programmed it. This calculator had a security hole in it where you can basically type computer code into this calculator and you can hack the entire website through this malicious or broken calculator. And that was kind of my first experience of realizing that very simple programming mistakes could do a lot of damage and could potentially allow a hacker to get in and take control over everything. I also tried to hack my school computers and servers. They were quite poorly protected. So, for example, I managed to get into a private file server and find the salary of all teachers and people's exam grades and stuff like that.
And how did the school react to that?
They didn't really take it very well at all because they kind of thought I was trying to blackmail them.
Obviously, hacking's portrayed a lot in movies.
Yeah.
So have any movies done it well, and what movies have done it badly?
Like most movies and TV shows don't do it well at all, and like they do it in a completely ridiculous way. Like they have all these 3D graphics and interfaces which are completely unrealistic. Like when you hack, it's just like a black terminal with white text. That's what hacking looks like. It's actually quite boring. But some TV shows actually do it very realistically. Like Mr. Robot, I think, has been the most realistic in terms of portraying hacking. Like the actual hacks they do are real hacks and exploits.
When did you first start to become aware of Anonymous as a group?
I started becoming aware of Anonymous as a collective of people when I started hanging around various online chat rooms associated with these online activists, and eventually kind of evolved into a wider activist campaign under the banner of Anonymous. Obviously, people have their own nicknames in these chat rooms, so it's not as if each person is calling themselves Anonymous. It's more that we're acting collectively under the kind of flag of Anonymous. There is no formal hierarchy, there's no leaders, but there's a kind of fluid, kind of chaotic hierarchy in the sense that it's a bureaucracy. So if you do something and people like it, then they'll come and help you with that. And if you don't like that, then no one will join. So it's kind of a bureaucracy and a meritocracy in some way, in the sense that the best ideas win, and you don't need leaders to choose which ideas should have merit or not.
Anonymous' movements were against the entertainment industry at this point. That was their main focusing on?
Yeah, that's what they were focusing on at the time, and then it kind of evolved into other campaigns. For example, when Visa and MasterCard shut services off to WikiLeaks to stop WikiLeaks from receiving donations, Anonymous launched a denial of service attack against MasterCard and Visa.
So can you tell me about one of the first attacks you were involved with under the banner of Anonymous?
One of the kind of first hacks that we did is we participated during the Arab Spring when Egypt was having a revolution and Tunisia as well. And for example,